Can I get your name?
Dwayne Cuber.
Dwayne who? Are you from Richmond?
For the last 2 years, anyhow.
Yeah. Are you currently homeless?
Yes.
And where do you reside currently right now?
In a tent in the park at.
At the DIC with a couple who is currently homeless. Are you guys from Richmond?
No, we're from Surrey.
You're from Surrey. Can I get your guys' names?
My name's Holly.
Holly?
Names are
Perfect. Now, what made you guys come to Richmond
And I'm scared of where them.
and Surrey?
pretty much scared where we were at in the place. Our living situation wasn't the right way, and we got evicted over something that was so
More
pitiful.
discriminating than anything.
More discriminating.
I was in
Okay.
treatment and had to leave treatment, and BC Housing kicked us out because they didn't recognize his face going in and out of my door, but he was just washing my place. To be
Yeah.
honest, yeah. So
All right.
It was
Perfect.
unfortunate I didn't communicate with him better, but
Okay. And where are you guys currently sleeping at nighttime right now?
here.
Sucking wieners! Sorry. Oh, fuck. Why am I always just sucking?
Ugh.
Hey, you're
Now,
positive.
do you guys feel that Richmond has a homeless crisis?
Yeah.
Yeah, everywhere you
Everywhere from Vancouver to Abbotsford has a homeless crisis. You can't. I don't go out anybody's door or walk past anybody's house that doesn't have a tent in front of it.
Yeah.
It's just sad.
Do you guys feel safe sleeping outside in Richmond?
No,
No?
it's the first 2 weeks of our life ever being homeless, and I'm terrified.
go,
Okay.
we find our stuff is stolen.
We're gonna have nothing left, and then we had a house fire. Everything's gone.
Yeah. How do you feel, or what do you think that City Council and the Mayor of Richmond could do to help this homeless crisis?
I think what they need is more resources, more shelter homes for
More low-income housing.
Now, if I were to give you guys $1 million right this second, what would you guys do with that?
Give it back into the community that I've been living in my whole life since I was 12.
Yes,
Perfect.
Exactly.
All right. Awesome.
exact same thing.
Do you guys have anything else you would like to add?
Not at this time. That's good.
No?
I hope that everyone can see it, understand it from our point of view, because we're good people too. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Holly.
Yeah.
Thank you. Can you state your name?
Chris Hearn?
Chris Burns. Are you from Richmond?
Yep.
Are you currently homeless?
Yep.
And where are you currently sleeping at nighttime right now?
I'm currently forced to stay on the street because I have a no-go at the one and only drop-in center.
Okay. Now, do you find that Richmond has currently, to this day, a massive housing crisis?
I do. I find that there's far too many people that live in other countries that own houses and jack up the prices and make it impossible for people like us to ever own homes or ever really move ahead.
Okay. How do you think the mayor or the premier of Canada can help with this housing crisis?
First of all, fuck Trudeau. Bring back the oil field. Stop spending so much money. You go fuck yourself. And the mayor could get some affordable housing going on. Build more modular homes. Make more affordable housing for us.
And do you feel that the modular housing currently in Richmond helps
No, they don't.
their tenants?
No, they don't at all. My girlfriend was actually held captive there, and then I got banned for 3 months for rescuing her from the room.
Okay.
And
Now,
the girl that was holding her captive got arrested, charged with kidnapping.
Yeah.
I got let go, but I got a 3-month ban.
okay. Now, if the mayor were to come here right now and hand you $1 million, what would you do with that?
Hookers and blows. Just kidding. I don't know. I try and help like fellow people. Like I build my own modular and run it properly. I have supportive housing counselors full time, like support workers. Like the biggest problem is a lack of support for mental health.
All right, so mental health is a big issue along with the housing crisis.
Yeah, well, mental health and drug use, but drug use goes hand in hand with untreated mental issues.
Okay.
So
Now,
maybe-
do you find that Richmond lacks resources to help our homeless?
Yeah, like I used to live downtown and I knew like 10 different places. I've been constantly trying to find somewhere to go and no one can even tell me where to go. I've heard of Ann Vogel, but no one can actually tell me where it is.
Okay. Now, before you were homeless, did you actually have a home?
Yes.
And what happened to that?
I lost my job.
You lost your job. So job is a big thing for you.
Yeah, I worked in the oil field before Trudeau fucked it up.
Okay, now if there was a pilot program where there was jobs, but you would get paid at the end of the day, each day, would you be
Yeah.
willing to do the pilot program?
Yeah.
Yes.
I done like Labor Ready and other programs like that in Vancouver and Surrey. They're really good. Like some of us aren't really good with like money management skills, and it allows us to eat and take care of our needs every day.
Perfect. Do you have anything else to add?
No, just that I really do recommend day-to-day work labor because a lot of us are on disability and we're allowed to make a certain amount of extra money, and that would allow us to do it.
Perfect. Thanks for your time, Chris. My name is Megan Wells. I used to be homeless in Richmond for about 10 years. I was constantly couch surfing, waiting for my spot on BC Housing. I was fleeing domestic violence, and I didn't feel safe in Richmond, and there were no resources, and it was hard. It was hard back then, and I can't imagine what these people are going through right now, living in tents. Like, I would be so scared. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night, and some of these people. They gather together like almost like a little village, and they watch over each other, and the negative impact that they are getting from the community, at times people would throw food at them. And Richmond is known to be a community, and our community is not acting like a community at all. They're looking down on people who are homeless. Like, yeah, there are addicts that are homeless and choose to be homeless because of their addiction, but there's also families that are sleeping literally in tents at Brighouse Park, and people that actually have jobs that can't afford housing. Now, a suggestion for the mayor is out in Kelowna, they have these micro village houses, and they prevent crime, and it's just like a community, like basically a village. And me myself, I'm Aboriginal, so homelessness is a huge thing for me. I've been around people with addictions that are struggling, and due to the lack of rental houses and units that are not being occupied, that are literally empty because the owners are overseas or back in their country, and it's just not fair. And I think not only should BC Housing get involved and take initiative, but City Hall needs to come up with something, because this is ridiculous. Like, it's damaging a city I once called home. And I have a daughter, she's almost 3 years old, and I take her out to hand out food and everything, and she asks me all the time, like, "Mommy, why are people sleeping outside?" And she wants to bring them home. But I tell her, I'm like, sweetie, I know you want to help people, but we can't help everyone. But also the resources in Richmond are really bad. When I was in high school and I got kicked out of my house, there were no women's shelters in Richmond. So I had to lie to Covenant House saying that I'm a Vancouver resident just so they would take me in. Now, with the shelters in Richmond, you have to be there at a certain time or else you don't get a bed. And there's only a limited amount of beds. So if you don't get there in time, you lose out. So of course, that leads to people sleeping in tents outside. So we seriously need to just get together, come up with a plan, and get it done. Just get it done. It will make the city more pleasant to be around, more safe. The crime will go down. And especially at Brick House, people will stop being harassed by cops constantly coming, kicking them out. Like, they have nowhere to go. They're not causing any harm. They're just stuck. They want help. They're craving for the help. They need help. But some homeless people won't even talk to me about it because they feel that City Hall won't do anything about it. That they're just basically a fly on the wall. So, Mayor Malcolm Brody, if you can just come up with a proposal plan and just get it done. Like, there's so many properties out in like 5 Road, like on the Highway of Angels, that is actually Richmond City's land. So it wouldn't cost you any money. The only part that it would cost you money is for the actual building of the places, and if you choose to do so, the micro mini homes. So once again, my name is Megan Wells, and I conclude this message. I'm gonna start off. Can I get your first name?
Tyler.
Tyler. And where are you originally from?
Nanaimo.
Nanaimo. Okay. And how long have you been in Richmond for?
On and off for a whole lot of years.
Okay. And have you been homeless for all those years?
Oh God,
No?
good chunk more than most of them.
So how long would you say you've been homeless in Richmond for?
Specifically Richmond, just a couple months.
Just a couple months.
Worth
Okay.
of time spread out over.
Okay. Now, when was the last time you recall having a job?
Just before COVID started.
Just before COVID?
Yeah, it was a
Now,
delivery driver.
if the city of Richmond came out with a pilot program claiming that after each shift you would get paid on the spot, would you be interested in this pilot program?
Depends on what the job is.
Depending on what the job is? Okay. Now, do you know any resources that are accessible in Richmond? And have you assessed them?
Just the drop-in center.
Just the drop-in center? Okay. What do you think that could be different about the resources in Richmond, if you know or we have any?
I'd like to know where they are and if we have any.
Yeah. Okay. And how do you think City Hall, the mayor, premier, could do to help the ongoing homeless crisis in Richmond and the Lower Mainland?
Well, besides sucking it up and making ourselves healthy first, and not letting a child running the country send all the money and supports that our whole country needs right now for ourselves, to get ourselves healthy, to look after other people. I'd like to see them spend a week out here in our shoes,
Yeah.
instead of making all these decisions from a nice warm office with a big comfy chair, or sitting at home on the couch with the kids and the dog and the Netflix.
Yeah. Do you have any suggestions for the mayor or the city council on what that would look like?
I mean, it depends. It depends on what kind of system they want to build. You could build, there's many different ways that it can be solved. You can build housing. You can build employment so homeless people can make the money to afford housing. Depends.
And you're currently living on the streets right now, right?
Yep.
Are you staying in shelters or are you staying in a
I
tent?
was, but they're not currently suitable to my mental conditions.
Okay. Now, when you were doing the shelters, were you finding that beds weren't available all the time?
They seem to be fairly available, but it may also be just lucky timing on my part.
Lucky timing. Okay. Now, if I were to give you $1 million right now on the spot, what would you use that $1 million for?
First off, if I had $1 million, I'd still be poor. I live in Vancouver. That's just a fact. What would I do? I'd probably buy a bunch of people food that I like, that I care about, and then probably buy myself a guitar or two, because those things won't lose their value. A house, well, fuck, it could be, I could buy it for $500,000 now, and it could be literally worthless tomorrow. So.
Perfect. Well, that excludes all the questions that I have for you. Do you have anything that you would like to add?
I challenge the mayor, the premier, and any other politicians and decision makers in the country, in the provinces, and the cities to come out and live a week with us. Lose all the niceties, lose all the fucking comforts. I'll fucking show you all the cool shit and how to actually survive and how to live out here in many different ways.
Yeah. Now, I just have one more question for you. When you're spending the nights outside on the streets, do you feel safe?
For the most part, because I have a very, very good instinct, and I generally avoid people that are displaying clearly aggressive and heated behaviors.
Okay. Now, the ongoing stigma on
But
homelessness.
people keep stealing my shit.
Yeah.
That's a piss off.
Yeah.
I've lost everything 4 times in the last month and a half.
Oh, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Now, the huge stigma on homelessness has to do around addictions. Do you feel that every homeless
it?
person has addictions?
No, every homeless person has a mental health issue that they're trying to self-heal with a substance of some kind or another. Addictions is like watching a plane snap in half, but then blaming the wings for not working.
Perfect. All right, well, that concludes
You
my
can
interview.
fix the wings, but the plane's still broken. Or, the computer is causing the problem. And you replace the wings, but you haven't fixed the problem because it's still the computer.
Yeah.
You
So-
gotta fix this. You gotta fix the computer instead of just replacing the parts that look broken because of the computer being broken.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time, Tyler. Tyler forgot to say something. Go ahead, Tyler.
My current plan right now is to leave BC because it's not a sustainable province.
But do you think that wherever you want to go
Calgary
is going to
is
have the same thing?
Far more sustainable.
More sustainable. Is it cheaper
It's
rent?
Cheaper rent, cheaper food, cheaper gas, cheaper vape products, cheaper housing.
Okay.
Everything's cheaper.
And what's stopping you from not going, say, like tomorrow?
Nothing. I might go tomorrow. Who knows?
Awesome.
If I get the opportunity and somebody hands me a ticket or says, "Hey, I'm going to Calgary. You want to come?" Fuck it, I might go.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you,
Because
Tyler.
it's-
All right. Yeah, you're fine. All right. So I'm going to start off with your name. What's your name, hon?
Sydney Bessemer,
All right. Where are you originally from?
Richmond.
Richmond. Have you lived here your whole life?
Yes, I have.
Are you currently homeless right now?
Yes, I am.
What made you become homeless?
Fortunately, me and my mother got a warning to get kicked out of our home, and we had no reasons why. We didn't do anything wrong, and they said that if we wanted to stay, we have to pay over $100 more,
Okay.
or $500 more.
All right.
My mistake.
Now, where do you typically sleep at nighttime in Richmond?
Here at the DIC,
In the shelter, in the warming shelter, or in the tent?
in a tent because the warming shelter is overfilled.
Okay. Now, do you feel safe sleeping in that tent at nighttime?
No, I don't.
And why is that?
Because usually some people walk by and it freaks me out. Like I just jump and I don't know who they are. I call out, "Who is it?" They don't reply. They never reply. I'm really scared about raccoons and skunks. I don't want to get sprayed.
Perfect. Now, are you aware of any resources for homelessness in Richmond?
DIC says that they could help me get on BC housing, but they're not too sure how long that would be from people that I've spoken to.
Yeah.
They say 6 to 8 months.
And have they started to help you with that?
They had, but now it's just stopped.
Open in the air. Okay. What do you think could be different about the resources in Richmond?
Maybe more housing and more BC housing, more vouchers that we get from the hospital, every hospital visit.
Okay. Do you have any suggestions for Mayor Malcolm Brody on what he can do to help the homeless crisis in Richmond?
I would say make tents and heaters cheaper for the homeless people, or make another shelter, make shelters everywhere, and I'm not too sure. I'm
Okay.
speechless.
Now, the next question, I need your total honesty. There's no right or wrong answer. If I were to give you $1 million right this second, what would you spend it on?
I'd spend it on my family, and I'd spend it on the people that helped us get the $1 million.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you for your time, Sydney.
Thank you.